may fail in times like this, but those who wait on you shall renew their strength in you, God. 'Cause this is my cry, oh Abba Father, to be a witness to you, my Lord, in power and in truth of your word, not seeking titles of men, just to worship you in spirit and truth. 'Cause this is my cry, oh Abba Father, to be a witness to you, my Lord, in power and in truth of your word, not seeking titles of men, just to worship you in spirit and truth. Be exalted, O God. May your glory fill the earth. May we know you as you are, so to keep our hope in you. 'Cause this is my cry, oh Abba Father, to be a witness to you, my Lord, in power and in truth of your word, not seeking titles of men, just to worship you in spirit and truth. 'Cause this is my cry, oh Abba Father, to be a witness to you, my Lord, in power and in truth of your word, not seeking titles of men, just to worship you in spirit and truth. Aunima kucha Miami, renew na mama suro, oh Sunday, iye makujifu. Nesema time for dosu denara, awe razi bejimi, nezimesi, watabai kasinasi. Yeah, me jifu. Oh, I can't remu. Ufisi bibi, ini mimbaina. We wo mafan. Na kuji mi abrainara. Onam demunti mede munsuro. Onam demunti mede munsuro. Onam demunti mede munsuro. Onam demunti mede munsuro.
world filled with challenges, we all need guidance, hope, and a lifeline to anchor us.
This is Lifeline, and I'm your host, Fred Crunchy Mensa.
From social issues, relationship challenges, and family matters, Lifeline is here to inspire, uplift, and guide you on your journey.
Where we give you support, where we hold your hand through the valley and through the thick and thins of life.
Join Bishop Fred Crunchy Mensa.
I welcome you especially to Lifeline.
Every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. right here on Channel 1 TV. Let's walk this path together, strengthen our faith, our families, and our lives. Lifeline, because every soul deserves a guiding light. Tune in to Lifeline on Channel 1 TV and let's grow together. This week on the Upside Down Show, the untouchable DJ Mensa joins Frema Edunyame and Nana Tufo.
Did you have to compete for a session? What was it like back then?
It's not like today. It was, first of all, even to get the equipment is a problem. I had to learn on the job because right after school, nobody was going to give me the equipment. I had to buy my first equipment with a story. There was a DJ that came from the UK. At that time, it was aphrodisiac. He was, don't touch this until I come. But I wanted to use it. He came and I was playing on set. Full house. He ejected
Are you serious?
the CDs out and threw them away.
Also featuring is Ash Benny, an energetic, vibrant musician.
With the rhythm of the music, everybody, Charlie make we party with the rhythm of the music. We go party.
Do you love magic? Join us as Manuel the Magician does his stuff. Make a date with us this Sunday at 7 p.m. prompt only on Channel 1 TV.
When the stars come out, Ghana Weekend turns up the lights. From the hottest red carpet moments to the wildest after parties. And for all your celebrations, anniversaries, and unforgettable moments, if it's happening, we are there. First, fast, and fabulously. Your front row pass to Ghana's A-list lifestyle is just a click or a channel away. GhanaWeekend.com and Ghana Weekend TV, where fame meets the fans. Promote your next big event with us, because when you party with the stars, the whole nation of black stars should know. Visit GhanaWeekend.com, watch and subscribe to Ghana Weekend TV on YouTube. Stay connected with us across all platforms. Follow us on Instagram with the handle at GhanaWeekend.com, on X at Ghana Weekend, on TikTok Ghana Weekend, and on Facebook at Ghana Weekend. Join the Ghana Weekend family today. Ghana Weekend, all access, all glam, all yours.
Where politics meets power, where the tough questions are asked, welcome to Face to Face. Every Tuesday at 9 p.m., join Umaru Sanda Amadou as he takes you face to face with the key players shaping the future of our nation.
I lost over $10 million at the trade fair.
You had a fight with the management of trade fair?
I don't have a fight with them. I just deplore the way they went about what they did.
Let's talk about the chief prosecutor of the state at the time that you were being prosecuted, Godfrey Yeboah-Dame, the Attorney General.
Yes. I think he was directed to jail us.
By who?
By the system.
Boko has been a failure for your government, though.
Can't be a failure.
You have not solved it.
No, you are not praising them, the previous government for solving it, which was even a more difficult case.
It's quite obvious that from these votes, the people felt that let's just let you go.
So they were disappointed in
us.
You are essentially the worst government in the Fourth Republic.
I don't know how you are doing that. If you based on the indicators.
Yes, based on the number of people who refuse to come and vote for you.
If that is your analysis, then why not?
No filter, no boundaries, just the truth behind the headlines. Deep, bold, and unflinching. Face to Face with Umaru Sanda Amadou airs on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV, where politics gets real.
This is Sunday Breakfast right here on Channel 1 TV. You are welcome back. We're going straight into our health conversation, and we're talking osteoarthritis part 2. The conversation was started last week. We'll delve into it, find out, recap what we did last week, and then continue the conversation from there. But if you have any questions at all, do send them to the number, the WhatsApp number 0203 020. Okay, I'm confused. Let me see the number. 0204-447-033. 0204-447-033. Alternatively, go to our social media platforms and send that with the hashtag Sunday Breakfast, and we'll do well to read it. Joining us is a very own doctor, Dr. Kalsum Zakaria Adam, public health practitioner and specialist maxillofacial surgeon. Doc, you're welcome.
Thank you, Eno.
How are you doing?
Very well, and you?
You had a good week?
Yes, I did. Relatively.
Relatively well.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
Exactly.
So we started the osteoarthritis conversation last week, you and Jude.
Yeah.
Run us through, what it is and how we get it and all of that, and then we can continue the conversation from there.
All right. So osteoarthritis. So maybe I'll start again from what arthritis is. So arthritis, basically, it has to do with two words, arthro and then itis. So arthro has to do with your joint, and then itis has to do with inflammation. Okay, and for you to have arthritis, there are different forms of arthritis that a patient can present with, depending on what exactly is happening. So if you have some inflammation of the joint as a result of an autoimmune condition. So autoimmune has to do with maybe yourself attacking itself, okay? So your immunity goes in an overdrive where it attacks its own self. It can't distinguish what self is from non-self. So when that happens to the joints, then we see you have rheumatoid arthritis, okay? Then when you have joint inflammation as well, and the main causative factor has to do with maybe some bacterial cause of some sort, then we can say that it's septic arthritis or an infection process. Then you see it's septic arthritis. But then when it comes to osteoarthritis, it has to do with the cartilage. So when you take the anatomy or the architecture of the joint is formed usually when you have one or two, in fact, 2 or 3 bones coming together, okay, for them to be able to work harmoniously, to help with your locomotion, to help so that you can move and all of that. So when you have these joints or these bones coming together, usually the surfaces of the bones are covered by this, maybe I should say, gel-like or gum-like structure. Okay, so that gummy-like structure is usually the cartilage. And this cartilage usually would have to be very smooth, okay, to help with the gliding action of the bones when they are in motion. Okay, so when this particular cartilage ends up undergoing some degeneration to the extent that now you have the bone surfaces coming into contact with each other, and then you have the gliding action, then we say that you have osteoarthritis. It's actually a chronic condition, and usually we say that you have some risk factors for you to be able to qualify as you having osteoarthritis, and one of them has to do with aging. So as you age, about 40 years and above, definitely you may end up with some osteoarthritis and genetic predisposition. So when you have a family history of, oh, okay, this particular family all the elderly people ended up with some osteoarthritis at some point in time in their lives, then you have some genetic predisposition and you need to look out for that and then prevent it. Then also obesity. Okay, overweight and obesity, having your BMI greater than about 35 is another very important risk factor that can predispose you to getting osteoarthritis. And you know, weight is very important. We need to be able to manage our weight. So if you don't manage your weight appropriately and you end up being either overweight or obese, it means that you're going to put a lot of pressure, a lot of force on your joints, and this can lead to that degenerative process that we are talking about. And then also sometimes injuries. So when you have injuries to the joint and these joints are aligned or are fixed and you don't get the correct alignment of these joints, it means that the joint is going to be malaligned, and that will mean that there will be some forces that would end up causing degeneration of these cartilaginous structures, and then eventually you may end up with osteoarthritis. So basically, this is in a nutshell what osteoarthritis is. But what will patients come to you and complain about is one of the most important things we should look at. Some would say, oh, anytime I wake up, my joints, I can't. I have a lot of pain, you know. Some would also say that, okay, I've noticed that over the period, I've noticed that anytime I wake up, I have stiffness associated with my joints, so I can't even move it the way it should move. Some may also say that there's swelling associated with the joint. So all of the signs and symptoms associated with some inflammation or inflammatory process is what these patients will present with. And it may end up affecting how active they are. It may end up affecting how they would be able to even do their daily activities. And that is why it's important that we shed more light on what osteoarthritis is.
Last week, somebody said to me, you know, that he watched the show and wanted to find out whether it's true osteoarthritis, you know, has got no cure. Is it really the case?
Yes, so I would say, so we'll go back again to the basics where we said that it's the cartilage. So the cartilage, usually it doesn't have blood supply. And usually when you don't have blood supply, when there's some destruction to that structure which doesn't have blood supply, it's very difficult to regenerate. Okay, we may even say that it doesn't regenerate at all. Okay, it's cartilage. So if it can't regenerate, the only thing is that you can only put in measures that will slow its progress. But you can't for sure cure it and say that, no, I have cured this person of osteoarthritis.
So it's true that it can't be cured?
It can't be cured, but you can just manage it and then slow down its progression.
So does it happen wherever you have cartilage? So like your fingers, it can happen?
So it can happen at some where your synovial joints are. So it can happen, so your knee joint, your hip joint, you know, and sometimes even your shoulder as well. And then some of the distal phalanges too, you may end up having
So people say don't crack your, can it get you?
Well, for that, no. It doesn't have a direct relationship with you getting osteoarthritis. The main important thing is that if you do have an injury to any of these joints we are talking about, and these injuries, it could be that maybe it's just the joint capsule that has been damaged. Or it could be that it's the ligaments that are stabilizing the joint that has been damaged. Or it could even be the synovial membrane and the synovial fluid that has an injury. So when all of these are not well aligned or are not well managed, you end up having some malalignment. And then if this particular joint is still being moved, it means that it is going to cause degeneration of the cartilage, and eventually you may end up with osteoarthritis in the long run.
There's a message here from a viewer who wants to find out what therapeutic options are available for, you know, in terms of treatment.
Treatment, okay. So for osteoarthritis, most of the time, or for arthritis in general, you would want to basically make sure that you have diagnosed the patient as much as possible. So first of all, I would advise that you quickly move to the hospital, and then you perform some lab investigations as well as some radiological investigations. So lab investigations to help you to be able to make or confirm the diagnosis. So there are some metabolites. When I mentioned arthritis in general, sometimes even you having accumulated something we call uric acid can end up giving you pins and needles around your joints, and that is what we call gout. Okay, it's another form of it, another type of arthritis. Okay, so you need to have some labs done. Aside the labs, you need to have radiological investigations done. So an X-ray needs to be taken. And then you have to marry all of these, your investigations, your hematological investigations and your radiological investigations, as well as the history of its occurrence and then the risk factors that the patient has. And then you would be able to make the diagnosis of osteoarthritis. On your X-rays, basically you see some osteophytes. You see that there's some degeneration of the cartilage, as well as these bony spicules that you see as osteophytes around the surfaces of the joints that is involved. Once that is done, then you need to be counseled. So you are counseled about the fact that possibly your risk factor at the time may be obesity. So you need to be able to manage your diet. You need to make sure that you are eating right. You are eating the kinds of foods that will help reduce your BMI so that it gets to normal, so that you don't end up having a lot of pressure, a lot of weight that would pressurize your joints. The other thing is that you need to go into your family history. If you have that family history of genetic predisposition, it means that you need to be taught to recognize some of these signs and symptoms even before they happen. Okay, and you need to be very careful. And then physical activity. So physical activity, people may say that, okay, if I have pain, then it means that I shouldn't engage in any physical activity. But no, that is wrong. You rather would want to engage in certain exercises that would help keep the joint in a healthy way. So you need to be still exercising and then going on with your daily activities. The other thing too is that pain. Pain is one of the things that people may not be able to tolerate. So based on your degree of pain, the appropriate management is given. So if it's mild pain, then certain times you can give the over-the-counter medications, or over-the-counter analgesics may suffice to be able to manage your pain for that time period. But there are certain times where people who are not educated about it continue to indulge in all the wrong activities, and then eventually ends up in very, very bizarre or very bad states in the end, where the whole joint may be destroyed. If the whole joint is destroyed and it's affecting the locomotive function of the joint, then eventually that means that that joint may end up being replaced. You may have to have surgery to have that joint replaced. Sounds scary. And then there are times too where you would advise patients to use knee braces, you know, to help so that they don't hyper extend the joints. They should use
walking sticks.
Or canes. And then there are times that they should be able to use good fitting shoes, so that they don't end up using some shoes that do not fit well and then eventually end up causing more harm to their joints than it should be. Yes.
I've seen, so I went with a family member, same problem, and they used I don't know what, I've forgotten the name of the thing, but they used it, and it was like an injection. Okay. So they found in between the knee and the leg and the, what's this called? The thigh. So I guess the cartilage there, pushed the needle there, and then pushed in the drug so that it could be a bit lubricated. Is that the word?
Okay, so usually your normal joint usually has a lubricant, and is the synovial fluid. So you have the joint capsule, and then the joint capsule is lined, the inner lining of the joint capsule is usually the synovial membrane. And this synovial membrane would produce your synovial fluid, which will act as a lubricant, would act as nutrition for the joint, and then also would act as a shock absorber. You get it? So sometimes, even when you have this degenerative process occurring, it tends to affect all these parts of the joint. So it's likely that this may have been a local way of having to deal with some joint anomaly of some sort that you noticed or you observed.
It gave them a bit of relief. So I guess that's a good thing.
Definitely.
But you mentioned that sometimes over-the-counter medication is given. Are people at a risk of getting addicted to?
Okay, so over-the-counter medications are usually not medications that have dependency.
Okay.
So they are sometimes some paracetamol, for instance, you can get it over the counter. But then certain medications that you can end up being dependent on, you need prescription for it.
Like
so those are
tramadol.
not, yes, so those are not,
Ghana.
exactly, yes. So those are not, ideally, if we are following all the rules and regulations, those will not be part of the medications that you can easily go to the pharmacy and then get it. So what the counter medications are, some NSAIDs and then some paracetamol or acetaminophen that you can get. And then the doses are also usually very low to the extent that you don't end up getting dependent on these ones.
There's a question here. Hi, what conditions does a patient have to be in to do knee replacement surgery? That's from Siemens.
All right, so as I mentioned, all of these signs and symptoms should be at the very end of the spectrum, such that the patient will not be able to function again. And then when you look at your investigations from your x-rays, you have noticed that the joint is totally gone. So in that regard, then you can opt for a joint replacement. And even that, you would have to look at other factors. If the patient is motivated, highly optimized in terms of nutrition and all of that, before you can actually qualify for a joint replacement surgery.
Wow.
I wanted to know, common maybe myths and misconceptions with osteoarthritis.
Okay, so people may say that, okay, so osteoarthritis, it's basically a disease of just the elderly, and once you are young, you may not end up with osteoarthritis. Yes, it's true that it is a disease of the elderly. We say that after 40 years. But then, looking at other risk factors, like the genetic predisposition, if you do not indulge in the right activities, you may end up with osteoarthritis at a very much earlier age than that. And then people may also say that, okay, osteoarthritis, once you have osteoarthritis, it is, you need surgery. But as we have just explained, osteoarthritis is not something that we want to manage it so that we can prevent, we can manage the signs and symptoms, and then not get to that end stage where you would require some, what's the name, surgery, which is the knee replacement surgery. So there are a number of things that people, misconceptions about.
But after the surgery, do you find that you're able to walk like normal?
Yes, so you'd have to undergo some physiotherapy. So yes, definitely you have to undergo some physiotherapy where you are taught again how to walk, how to how to adapt with these new prostheses that you have. And then basically once you go through the physiotherapy, you should be able to get back to normal function.
There are concerns around, still on the stereotypes, right?
Yeah.
The weather and its role.
Okay.
Are you able to briefly touch on it for us?
Yes, so definitely. So arthritis in general, yes, there are some of these arthritic conditions have cold intolerance. So cold intolerance in the sense that once the weather is cold, it's either leads to something we call vasoconstriction. So vasoconstriction is at least the pipes that that supply blood to the area become more constricted, or they become narrowed. So once this happens, it means that the blood supply to the area is reduced, and then it can lead to the pain that you end up having. There are certain times too where even the cartilage and then the tendons of the muscles that help with the function of this joint become stiff because of the weather conditions, and that can also lead to some pain because of the stiffness of the joint. And then, but typically the one that is associated with cold intolerance would be the rheumatoid arthritis, the autoimmune type that I mentioned. Osteoarthritis, yes, a little bit, maybe mildly. Yes, some people may have some cold intolerance. But then for the autoimmune type, yes, it is known that it has some relation to do with some cold intolerance. And even sometimes you may even call it the Reynolds phenomenon and what have you. So yes, it is there.
Still on the stereotypes. I like they are debunking a lot of the wrongly held perceptions. But there's also another that says that, for example, if you are suffering from it, you shouldn't gym, right? And that your physical activity should be constricted to a particular form of exercise. Is that really the case?
All right. So when you have osteoarthritis, you need to be active, physically active. But then again, we still have to come back.
There's a but.
Yes, you need to come back to what exactly is causing your osteoarthritis.
Okay.
Is it from injury? So if it is from a particular injury, maybe a ligament tear that has been wrongly fixed, that has led to malalignment of your bones, and then now your bones are degenerating, or the cartilage in between the bones are degenerating, then it needs to be measured.
Okay.
So you would be taught exactly what type of physical activity to do, so that it doesn't rather end up causing...
Yeah. So it's not like you can go to the gym and start lifting heavy metals and dumbbells and, and all of that.
So you would have particular exercises, because that is also very, very important to maintain the health of that particular joint.
Can you get osteoarthritis from going to the gym?
From going to the gym?
Yes.
So if you have an injury from going to the gym, indulging in a particular, maybe doing
heavy weights.
Exactly, that leads to a particular tear or a particular injury to a particular joint, which hasn't been managed properly, and then you keep using that particular joint in the wrong way, then yes, it can lead to malalignment of the joint, and that can lead to the degeneration of the cartilage. So it's one of the risk factors of having osteoarthritis in the long run.
You've spoken a lot about the relationship between obesity and osteoarthritis.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long day.
Drink water.
It's going to be a long day. You know, would you say there are certain foods, for example, if you check your BMI and, you know, obviously points to the fact that you're obese, you should absolutely stay away from if you begin to experience the symptoms talked about?
So joint health is not different from your overall health.
Okay.
So it's important that we all know the foods that are good for us, and then the foods that are bad for us, that will lead to you putting on unnecessary weight, and then eventually putting your knees and then your joint at risk.
Some people eat certain foods and that's absolutely nothing to their body shape.
Yes. So it also
people
has
eat
to...
it and sometimes they only smell it. And their body just begins to change.
That also has to do with your genetic predisposition.
Okay.
And then the fact that some people are high metabolizers and then others are low metabolizers. Yeah. High metabolizers are, okay, as soon as I eat something, my body is able to quickly break it down, and then it becomes energy and it is used. While others who are low metabolizers, whatever that you eat, it doesn't break down. It rather goes into storage.
Yeah.
So you need to know your body type. That's why some people may put on a lot of weight, while others would not put on any weight at all. So it still boils down to the fact that you need to eat healthy. So how do I eat healthy? Incorporating some fruits and vegetables in my diet almost all the time. Making sure that I reduce my carbohydrate portions so that I eat more of my proteins, and then making sure that any meal that I'm eating should have all the vitamins and then all the minerals that there should be in that particular. You should have a little bit of fats and oils, you should have a little bit of your proteins, you should have your carbohydrates and all of that. And then making sure that you're hydrating as much as possible. You're hydrating as much as possible. Very, very important for you to be able to. And making sure you're also checking your BMI or your weight almost every time. You see, it's important because people don't even know what BMI is.
You should have the calculation
the last time. Yes. So you should make sure that anytime, maybe even once a month, you can just check, or you can buy your own scale at home, and then you stand on it. And then you check your weight. Once you get your weight in kilograms, you should know your height. Your height usually would not change. So your height, it should be in meters squared. So once you have your mass or your weight in kilograms and then your height squared, you divide the two. That should give you your BMI.
Yeah, and a healthy BMI
is usually, yes, so it's usually between about 18. So once you have about 18, yes, that's normal. If it's below that, that's underweight. And then if it goes maybe 18.1 all the way to about 20, thereabouts, then you say, okay, the person is still, so 18 to about 24.9 is normal.
Wow.
So if it's below 18, then you're underweight. And if it is above your 25 to about 30, you're overweight. And then when you have about 35 and then above, then you know you're in the obesity range.
Wow. People say it's usually very common or extremely common among older folks, so much that it's negligible among young people. So don't even bother, right?
Yes, yes.
Is that really the case?
Yes, so we mentioned that once you have other risk factors, like the injury that is not well attended to, like your BMI is not restricted to elderly people. You know, if you have an unhealthy BMI, you do have an unhealthy BMI. It's irrespective of your age. So once you have all of these things, you're at risk of developing osteoarthritis, and not necessarily the fact that you are above 40 years, as we have mentioned earlier. So yes, it is something that happens with age, but when you look at other risk factors, you can end up having osteoarthritis even at your young age.
Wow. Can osteoarthritis be confused with other joint conditions?
Yes.
And how they
yes. So
differentiate
this arthritis that we even mentioned, I've mentioned a number of them already. The ones that are caused by the autoimmunity, which is your rheumatoid arthritis, the ones that are caused by accumulation of some metabolites like your uric acid, which is your gout, okay? The ones that may be as a result of, when you look at it, there is some causative organism which can be isolated. So maybe a bacterial infection, which is your septic arthritis, okay? And then there are other injuries associated with your joints. So if you have injuries that are affecting some of your ligaments, yes, you can end up with some pain. You can end up with some stiffness. You can end up with limitation in movement. And all of these can mimic some of the signs and symptoms that we have mentioned that do happen in osteoarthritis.
Yeah.
It could also be that aside the fact that you have some injury to the ligaments, you may end up having some malformed bone itself. So the surfaces of the bone that is in contact, or that is caused, that will be in that joint, has it's malformed.
Yeah.
Once that is malformed, yes, you can end up with some other joints. And then the joints anomalies can be varied. It can be degenerative, it can be from an injury or trauma, it can be from a metabolic source, and all of that. So yes, you need to be thoroughly investigated. Thoroughly, you need to be, a good history needs to be taken, and then the right diagnosis needs to be made before the right treatment would be given to you.
I think at a point you spoke about shoes. Can wearing heels or the wrong type of shoes?
Oh yes, of course, yes. For our females. For our females, yes.
Sometimes
very important.
heel you may wear, but still nah, that's the one that I want to wear.
Exactly, very, very important, right? Wearing the right footwear, which is comfortable.
Yeah.
Footwear that would not cause your joints to be malaligned, to the extent that now when you are walking, it causes you have that gliding motion of the surfaces of your bones that can lead to that degenerative effect. Yes, it's important, especially for the ladies when it comes to this. Yes, especially for the ladies. So it's very important that you know the right types of shoes that you should wear, so that they are comfortable and then they don't end up causing unnecessary pressure and forces to the joints that we are talking about, and eventually you may end up with an arthritic condition that you don't want.
Well, my final question. I hear people say that if you're managing it, for example, you need to check your sedentary lifestyle, right? If you're an office worker, don't sit down for long hours. Are there like very quick exercises, a quick physical activity?
You should be able to. Yes, you can be moving your feet. If it's in your knee, you should be able to do even the soleus exercise, where you just need to move your ankle. Once you're moving your ankle, at that point, it's able to at least help with some blood supply to the region to help reduce the pain that you may be having. Even little massages on the joint could help. You using even cold or warm compresses around the joints that are painful could also help reduce the pain. And then little movements associated with that particular joint, yes, it should be measured. It shouldn't be hyper movements that may end up causing more problems that we want, than we want. Okay, so all of these, if you're able to do it, and then the physiotherapist also plays a very vital role in this. They are able to help you know the kinds of exercises you should be able to do, whether at the gym or even in the house or even at work. So once you are managing osteoarthritis, it is a multidisciplinary approach kind of management, where all of these stakeholders come in for a holistic management plan for that particular patient.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Carlson.
We
appreciate it. All right. From our correspondent today, we're talking about slums in Ghana, the conditions that people live in. And this is all stemming from a GSS report on slums in Ghana. Manuel Ayama and Patricia Boateng filed this report.
We had to deal with a lot of these slum fires, and based on the kind of structures that they dwell in and have their economic activities, these are combustible materials.
Slums, like Old Fadama, remain especially vulnerable to service delivery gaps and are often excluded from broader urban planning initiatives. Residents face limited access to healthcare, education, job opportunities, and safe infrastructure.
When you are going to somewhere to find a job, you know, guy, they say, oh, Fadama, it be criminal people there, but not the criminal.
According to the Ghana Statistical Service, 46.1% of urban households in Ghana live in slum conditions, defined by poor housing, overcrowding, inadequate sanitation, and limited access to clean water. In total, 30.8% of Ghana's urban population is affected, nearly 1 in every 3 urban dwellers.
Imagine 50 people living in this room. Yes, that is the fate of Kayayis here in Old Fadama. Many living in enclosed areas or in enclosed rooms like this one. How do they manage to survive? So, King Banjira la anewane.
Banjira, don't you know to Banja Tabasiela? Banja Tamariela Tabodma, Tabod Dari, don't you know Tabod Dharma, teacher, Soko and Yamapa, Banja Tabasugi, Ska Adam de Nimanashi, Durum Balama, Janto Kuchi, Kabaya had to do and Drea, Kacher and Nature and Nakayina, Malaria and Balama, the Sahanyala to shower and Paladon Yara Sanctity.
In an interview with Channel 1 News, Mohammed Karim, branch chairman of Old Fadama, revealed that the community has battled long-standing issues for 39 years.
We don't have any government hospital here. The drugstores are attend to the hospital here for us. The drugstore who have the former shop, if they don't attend the hospital here. All of that all is this will be affected. Somebody sick, you take every rasta. Now I'm talking. If you are from here, you hold the health insurance. When you go to hospital and you know that you are coming here, your health insurance will be native. You see, baby, then they work like that. Like the school there, you will not see any children. You will not see any child here. But because of the paying the school fees, no money.
I'm here at Old Fadama, one of Ghana's popular slums where over 2,000 residents live without consistent access to clean water, hospitals, schools, and electricity. Despite repeated promises from politicians, especially during election year, basic infrastructure remains out of reach. For Channel 1 News, I am Patricia Boateng.
And I am Manuel Ayama.
And that report, very, very well, couched report, put together report by Manuel and Patricia.
I am Jude Duncan.
Please, don't come and put yourself inside.
How to tap in.
Don't come and put yourself inside. Manuel joins us to talk about this report that he and Patricia did. Unfortunately, Patricia is unable to join us. You're welcome to Sunday Breakfast.
Thank you very much.
Your first time.
Yes.
You were on Voice Factory.
Yes, I was on Voice Factory.
How was the experience?
It was a learning one. I was still discovering myself. I had a potential, so I wanted to explore it. And I think I did my very best. Yeah.
So you've put singing aside to do reporting?
Not aside. I still sing, but for now I'm focusing on journalism.
Okay. Yeah. We like it. We like it. So you did a report previously before this one. Tell us about that one, because that one led to the slum report, no?
Okay, so that report was on the Ghana Islamic School being close to a slum. So they share boundary with a slum. And the school was complaining that the activities of the slum is one way or the other influencing the students. But on this particular one, it was on the back of the Ghana Statistical Service report. Yeah.
What piqued your interest? I know you mentioned the report. 30.8% of Ghanaians live in slum. That's the national average, or the average on the continent is about 53. So it's still significantly lower.
Yeah.
But what beyond the report, what piqued your interest in going there to interact with them, to understand their conditions they live in?
So these are just statistics. When you put them out there like that, people find it difficult to understand. So when you hit the ground and you tell the stories, you bring the realities to life, then they know that, oh yes, it's really happening. Because when you just say over 4 million people are being affected, or 4 million people are living in slums or are facing slum conditions, people just see them as numbers.
Yeah.
But when you hit the ground, you tell the stories, you bring it to life, the basic facilities or amenities they lack, you tell all those stories, then our authorities get to see, and then hopefully you make an impact. So that was what I and Patricia tried to do, and I hope we made an impact. Yeah.
So when you hit the ground, what describe the situation that they live in, the conditions that they live? Do they even have a hospital or a CHIPS compound?
So we chose Old Fadama, and entering into the community was an eyesore. But what stood out for me was this enclosed room. It had no outlets or windows. Oh, wow. And I was being told that 50 people live in there. 50 Kayayes live in there.
Is it a big space? Is it as big as our set?
No. It's like our set's being portioned into 4. So one section of it is where 50 people are living.
No windows, just a door.
So you can imagine. And so I got to interact with one of the Kayis who told me that they don't have any basic facilities to rely on. They don't have toilets or bath facilities. And it's like they've been neglected, sort of. When it comes to the national resources or planning for, citizens in Ghana, you hardly hear of the slums being added to any national plan. You get me? And so you go there and they tell you they have no schools, they have no hospitals, sanitation there is very poor. And the man told me, one of the branch chairman told me that even if they have their NHIS card and they send it to the hospital, the way they are being treated, it looks as though they are not citizens of the country. And so you see neglect, you see inequalities, you see delivery gaps,
Wow.
Yeah.
But just a year ago, in May 2024, in the previous administration, they launched the Kayaye Empowerment Training Center, which was big, right? Because we're told that they could still do their head porting business and also learn other skills. In your interaction with these head porters who live in these slums, they did come up the fact that government in the previous administration, instituted a training center to help them, some of them even with their accommodation and stuff.
So some benefited from it, but for others, they keep coming back. And so for them to be able to get access to these benefits, it's, for lack of a better word, let me say the whole thing is one way or the other politicized.
Yeah.
It's either you know someone, for someone to help you get there. If not, then you're on your own.
But you know even if it's still running?
Well,
you can't tell.
I can't even
Where did they migrate from, most of these people who live in these slums?
So most of them are from the northern part of our country. So you can speak of the northern region, Upper East, Savannah, and then they come down here to make ends meet.
I see. And who gave them, authority over the lands that they're living in now? Or when they got to Accra, maybe my cousin or my sister or a friend lives here, so let me go and join. Is that what's going on in these slums?
So it's more or less like a Muslim community. And the branch chairman told me that they've been living there for over...
They have a branch chairman?
Yes.
Okay.
They've
For
been
the
living
slum?
there- Yes.
Wow.
There are different slums in Old Fadama.
Okay.
So a branch chairman
Okay.
is who I spoke to. So he told me that they've been living there for over 50 years.
Wow.
Yes. So as to, I can't really tell who the land belongs to, but I can just guess that maybe it's for the state. Yes. So they've been living there for over 50 years, and it's a Muslim community. And so when they come up from the north and they go to a place like that, it becomes easy for them to get an accommodation. Yeah.
How safe is it for the women or the girls in these areas or in these slums? How safe is it in terms of, did any of them mention that, they've been preyed on by men or, in that regard?
So I wouldn't say it's safe. Even in the report I did, you could tell that the lady I interviewed wanted to be anonymous.
Yes. Showing us
Yes.
that.
She was scared of being attacked.
Victimized.
Yes, or victimized in case she's seen on TV. And so I had to protect her identity. And so I wouldn't say it's safe. Yes. Women are vulnerable one way or the other in communities like that. So I wouldn't say it's safe. And you go there and you see children as little as 5 years roaming about,
They're not even going to school?
No.
How much do they earn in a day? Because then my next follow-up will be, can they earn something? Can they, whatever they earn, are they able to afford basic amenities or even sanitary pads?
No, they are not able to afford any of that because, again, the branch chairman told me that some of these basic facilities, they don't have them in the community. And so they have to outsource. And when you go to outsource, it becomes difficult for you to purchase a service or be able to pay for what you want to go and outsource when it comes to hospitals, schools, toilet and bath facilities and all of that. And so he was advocating that the slum be included in national agenda, in budgets,
Urban
so that at the end of the day, some of these facilities would be established in the slum communities so that they wouldn't be left out. Yeah.
Wow.
How are they taking showers? You mentioned that there are no bathrooms, there are no toilets. How are they taking showers? How are they using the washroom or the toilets? Because I don't want to believe that they'll do it
It's
in
a
a poly
public
bag
one, by
and
the
then
way,
throw
so
it. Oh, so there's a public
there's
one
a
that they have
public
to go and
one.
pay for.
Yes, yes. But it's not in a good state. It's not in a good state. They complain about it, and not everyone uses it. And so they all find an easy way to, convenience themselves one way or the other. So it's not everyone who uses the public ones. And when you go to the public ones, one way or the other, you would understand why they wouldn't want to use it. you know.
Wow. And if you look at the report by the Ghana Statistical Service, you know, it points to the fact that 1 out of every 3 Ghanaian in urban, you know, centers are slum dwellers.
Yeah.
Global average is around 24%. Sub-Sahara Africa is 53%, and in Ghana it's 30.8%. That's quite significant. And you know, like you rightly said, it's accommodation, or it's an accommodation problem that's fast becoming a public health concern. You just asked about access to, you know, menstrual health, you know, and it's also becoming a security issue, and of course equity concerns, right? But you know, I remember Sanda did a report last year or 2 years ago on the rapid rate at which slums are, you know, springing up in very posh areas. So, for example, if you go to East Legon, everybody knows East Legon is the Beverly Hills of Ghana, right? But there's an active slum community there because these people there are workers for some of the big corporations you see. You know, they serve as mates, in, you know, but you also can't neglect the fact that, like Manuel said, it seems we've neglected, and I feel like to a large extent, we need to have conversations with the Land Use and Spatial Planning Authority, LUSPA, what we usually used to call town council. I think town and country planning, or town council and country planning, or something like that. You know, because they've allowed our spaces to be very poorly managed, that slums emerge from everywhere. And, you know, the Works and Housing Ministry, we should be asking them questions because, like, what kind of they say they are building affordable houses. Then the affordable house, you see the price.
But when you speak to them, they throw it down to the local governments.
Yeah. So, yes, so of course, they should work in collaboration with the assembly. You know,
this is the room that a lot of people say, wow.
It's about time, I was going to say that it's about time we relook how we treat the vulnerable in society. I remember there was a report some time ago that said that accommodation was provided to some of these people, but they couldn't stay in those places because the whole idea of paying electricity bills, they couldn't even afford it, right? So it's about time government is more deliberate in its approach with regards to helping the less privileged in society. And I think that we should go back to the conversation on the way we plan our cities, right? And urban centers. But Manuel, still with you, do you get a sense that delinquency in these areas appear to be high? I remember, I'm asking this because last month, the AMA embarked on an operation in a place they called Lucifer Town, where, you know, apparently it was a drug haven, you know, and social vice haven. All manner of things were happening there. Do you get a sense that with where you went to in putting up this report, issues around crime, you know, drug abuse, and the likes, you know, theft and all of that, do you get a sense that a lot of those things were happening in those areas?
So because I had limited time to put this report together, I couldn't feature everything in there. There was this guy I spoke to, and you could tell that he was addicted to drugs. And for him, it was because he didn't have any job to do. And so that was his way of, I don't know, seeking,
whiling away time.
I can't tell. And it was sad. And he made a funny comment that we don't have money, we need money to even get married and all that.
He's thinking about marriage?
Marriage. So children are exposed to these drug addicts or are exposed to illicit substances. Is there. Even if you're walking through the slum, you could sense some of these drugs. You don't need to even see it. You could sense it. Yeah, you could smell it and all that.
I hope you didn't get high.
And so you can tell. But that on the side, there are also very good individuals living in slums that the branch chairman was advocating that they shouldn't be stigmatized against. Some of them go to seek jobs and they tell them they are from Old Fadama and they end up not getting the job. They are being looked at in a certain way. So you see this stigma with slum dwellers as well, and that's also not fair.
You know, an interesting thing, Jude, in the report, it says that fertility rates are higher in slums, particularly among women aged 15 to 49. So I'm looking at this area, and I'm wondering why What time?
How?
Because if you're telling me that with a national slum fertility rate of 2.9 and it's in the northern region, it's 4.1. Where, how, what time?
In slum areas.
Yes, in slum areas, to be specific.
Because, Manuel is telling us that 50 of them are sleeping in a room. And I'm sure some of them have children.
Yes.
So do they do it in the... Of course, you wouldn't know.
But did you ask them?
I didn't ask that.
Next time, please go and ask them.
Yes, I will.
But a question I want to find out, and I don't know if you asked any of the people you spoke to who live there, but do they want to go back from wherever they migrated from? Or do they prefer the life that they live here?
So up there are not a lot of opportunities for them to make the money they want. So here's it's a quick way for them to get the money. They do the kaya and in a day they make something and they're able to survive on it. So for going back is no option for them. But back on what you were saying, so it's like a cycle. So they end up, making children with the street individuals there. And so these children grow up, they live in the slum, and then they also,
Yeah, so the cycle continues.
It keeps repeating.
Yeah.
And it never ends.
I remember my mother's shop in Kumasi, so we had this young Kaya, very brilliant. Anytime someone comes to buy something, she doesn't even need a calculator. She'll just mention, oh, man, you say.
Experience.
She is so smart. So my mother's like, let me take you back to school so that, you can get out of this situation. Said no. She doesn't want to go back. Now, when she goes back to her town, her friends always come back with these nice cooking pots and cloths. And that's why she came down to Kumasi, because she also wants to be able to take those things back and go home and get married. Wow. And it was a whole back and forth between her and my mother, and I came to speak in, but now she's a nurse. Because she finally agreed to go to school and finish up her JHS.
Amazing.
Go to SS, and now she's a nurse. And anytime I see her, I feel so proud of her because she was smart.
May God bless you.
Auntie Safo?
Oh, your mom. I mean, not everybody will do that, right? Amazing. I was going to say that, government's a continuum, right? And it's important that when one administration starts something and we all agree that it's in the best interest of the country, whoever comes after in terms of steering the affairs of the nation should also take it as a priority and continue. Why am I saying this? MPP, Baumia goes to do National Kaya Empowerment Training Center. I get the sense that everything in this country, to a large extent, gets very political. and seen in very partisan lenses, right? Seen through partisan lenses. But the point is that once we agree that it will help people in society, especially the vulnerable, I think we should put politics aside. Just May 2024, we launch it. And I've heard stories and reports in the media that the place has been abandoned. Can you imagine the good it would have been to society if we took it up seriously? This administration continued to support it. We'll be training Kaya, in different things, and, their standard of living will improve, their conditions will change. There's a story about this Kaya girl who went to school in the US, a very popular girl, and she's an advocate for headquarters, right? So I think that this government should not say, on the face of political expediency, push it because it's a legacy of a former administration, right? And they should, go back to it,
And one funny thing, they told me that during election time, the politicians bring buses there to pick them up.
Look at that. I mean, how?
The polling stations to go and
so
vote.
you see them as objects,
Exactly.
to enhance a political agenda, but not necessarily their welfare. And I think it's repulsive. So Charlie, I don't know, maybe the local assembly, right? Like I said, the Land Use and Spatial Plan Authority, they have a role to play in ensuring that slums don't just spring up because, of course, it has a downside in terms of delinquency issues, social vices. But the people who are already in existing ones, government should do better in terms of,
upgrade them, give them the basic facilities, toilets
It's important.
and baths,
It's
schools,
important. It's important.
and all that.
It's important. Wow. But what's the business of the slums like? I see a lot of petty trading going on, stores.
Yes, makeshifts and all that. So it's a community, and so you would expect them to do business amongst themselves and all that. But in the business, you also see the illicit substances, which is also not a good thing. And so the business is really booming there. It's within the community, and so they make what they need to make. Yeah.
Amazing. I don't know if you have anything to say. You know, in the Ashanti region where you come from, is the area with, or the region with the highest, slum communities, right? So I think your average is around 51.3 or something, closely followed by the Greater Accra region, right? And I think the OT region also has, and I think some parts of the Northern region.
So you get to
and the northern parts too.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that this is happening in this day and age. I think the report mentions that there are fewer urban areas.
Yes.
10% of urban areas of Ghana's localities are officially urban. Yet 34.1% of neighborhoods and 26.6% of localities meet slum criteria.
So you can think of parts of Legon, parts of cantonments being a slum. Because of the typical wooden structure we are all used to, that there's a slum, but because they lack they are facing slum conditions.
They lack the decency, in living, right? The fact that they don't even have like proper facilities for washrooms and all of that. The children there, do they go to school?
No, most of them don't. And again, the branch chairman said that it was because they don't have a localized school. The schools around them are all private. They can't afford them. And so what can you do?
So there are no public schools in Fadama?
There should be.
There should be. There should be a public school.
Had they tried to enroll the kids? Or school fees?
Yes, school fees. So most of them are not going to school.
So,
government
school is free. So I'm not sure about
education. Or that has been.
Even though it's free, aside from the free as in you paying school fees,
you have to buy certain
things. So they can't afford all those things. So if I can't afford, why should I bother?
What was their number one plea to government? When you spoke to the branch chairman, what did he say they want government to do for them?
So, an upgrade. So they should be included in national planning. You don't even hear that there's a school being built in a slum or a hospital.
Yeah,
so
but that's the point, right? Their very existence is illegal. So
the argument they make is that they've been here since. So if
but the point is that they can't continue to be there like that. I would have said that maybe they should plead for like some kind of affordable housing where government also tries to provide some jobs where they could do, and now over time they pay for it. Something, but you can't say you want to continue to. That would be endorsing an illegality, and it will give rise to the increase of it in other spaces. Of course, the approach is that government should clear it because it creates other problems. But the point too is that if you clear them without a ready plan, it's like trying to solve one problem, but even creating a probably bigger one. So I don't know. I think all of us need to come together, right? So the head of the civil service, Dr. Agridakun, is spoken a lot about this. Academia, government, development partners. Let's sit together to see how. I don't think we can completely eradicate the idea of slums. Elsewhere in even more developed societies,
they have their own.
So it will be a wishful thinking to say that we can rid Accra or Kumasi of slums. It won't happen. But we can reduce the indignity, that happened there. And government has a lot of priorities. But I hope that they're also able to prioritize, the concerns of some of these things. At the very least, they can begin by putting in place decent washrooms, while a more stable long-term plan is sought for them.
And there's this call to private companies or institutions to also explore their CSR activities in slum communities and also help them with these basic amenities as well.
I think United Way Ghana, they've been doing some work, in that regard. So we'll see how that goes. But Mano, it's been a pleasure. Is there any other thing you wanted to touch on that we've not spoken about?
I think I've touched on everything. Yes, but I did this with Patricia, so if she's watching or wherever she is.
Patricia watching.
Kudos,
right?
Boating.
Yeah,
kudos to us.
She be big one. she there for,
I think you are mistaking her for.
No, I know who I'm talking about. I saw in the report. There are two Patricias in the newsroom. There's Patricia Boache and Patricia Boating.
Boache is
online,
yeah.
and Boating is the one who did the report. Yeah, I'm really well aware. You want me to say something, but I won't say it. But yeah, Charlie, kudos on this report.
Good job.
Good job. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I wish I had the creative, I have some style.
When I saw this report and I saw the inside of I'm like, wow, if it had been me who had entered and come out, I'd have gotten a cold. My nose is very, very sensitive.
The heat's in that room.
I can only imagine.
You are a DB, so.
It's not a matter of DB.
Charlie,
it's not a matter of DB. Even smoke gives me, allergies and all of that.
Your whole life you've been insulated from it.
I have not been insulated from anything. Who has been insulated from smoke?
If you stay in Kaneshi, you will know how to adjust. In fact, your body would assimilate, so it's fine.
But
thank you so much.
You guys have done a good job.
I pray for the grace, your storytelling grace.
Amen.
No, for me. For me.
I
want to be able to tell the stories like you are doing.
Yeah,
so
you're doing a good job.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, so that's what time will allow us for our focus today on slums. It doesn't really make for good reading pleasure, seeing that 30.7% of Ghanaians are slum dwellers. If you want to look at it in a more clearer picture, 1 out of every 3 Ghanaian, in urban centers are slum dwellers. The global average is around 23%. In sub-Saharan Africa, is around 54%. So it means that we are doing better compared to other African countries, but 30% is still very high, and we are urging government to pay attention to them. They say they are resetting the country. The reset should also, involve deliberately looking out for the vulnerable in society. We believe that would help in a more inclusive and a more prosperous society for all. We'll take a quick break. When we are back, there's a lot more right here on Sunday Breakfast. Don't go away.
Across Africa, food and agribusiness hold the power to transform economies. But potential alone is not enough. That's why Impact Food Hub proudly present the Agribusiness Launchpad and Accelerator Program, Ghana's premier agribusiness accelerator program, created to turn bold food ideas into market-ready brands. At the forefront of this initiative is Dr. Mavis Oreku-Asare, a renowned food scientist and a passionate advocate for food safety and agribusiness innovation. With a track record of empowering entrepreneurs and improving food systems, her vision for Launchpad 2025 is bold, practical, and transformative. From July 9th to 12th, participants will converge at the Stanbic Bank Business Incubator at Silver Star Towers in Accra for an intensive 3-day training and field day immersion designed to provide hands-on experience across the agri-food value chain. The program will be facilitated by seasoned experts with proven expertise in smart and sustainable farming, food product development and value addition, regulatory certification and compliance, digital marketing and brand positioning, financial management, pricing strategies, and funding access. Participants will also benefit from guided pitch coaching, mentorship with industry leaders, peer networking opportunities, and access to post-program business advisory services. Launchpad 2025 is powered by Impact Food Hub in partnership with Stanbic Bank and the Ghana Export-Import Bank. Whether you're a farmer looking to add value, a youth-led food startup, an agri-business ready to scale up, or a food tech innovator, Launchpad 2025 is your gateway to growth, visibility, and impact. Register now at impactfoodhub.mhon2.com or dial *899*10# on all networks. Call 025-689-9305 for more information. Launchpad 2025, your agri-business reimagined. Impact Food Hub. Get to the heart of it.
talk hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids are normal structures located in the anus of all mammals.
But it is only man who suffers hemorrhoidal disease because of the erect posture we have assumed and the squatting that we do to empty our bowel. Hemorrhoids consist of a special type of blood vessels which fill with blood when we are moving our bowel and help to cushion the anus against the force of transmitting the stool. Afterwards, they empty their blood, collapse, help seal the anus to maintain continence. Over time, these vessels lose the elasticity of their walls, become dilated, permanently filled with blood, leading to congestion of the hemorrhoids. The symptoms of hemorrhoids are bleeding and prolapse of the hemorrhoids when passing stool, itching and feeling of warmth in the anus and anal discharge. Laser, ligature, and longo are the modern, minimally invasive, most effective and painless methods of treating hemorrhoids today.
Winterba Hospital, first Ghana Colorectal Center, in to serve a peculiar health need.
Imagine a place where technology and compassion meet. A sanctuary of health, precision, and trust. At Olive Health Diagnostics and Imaging, we redefine excellence. From advanced ultrasound, X-ray, and CT scan services to accurate laboratory, cardiology, and dentistry, our mission is clear: to provide the care you deserve with accuracy, precision, and speed. Your trusted healthcare partner, Olive Health Diagnostics, always ready whenever you need us. Olive Health Diagnostics and Imaging, redefining excellence in medical diagnostics.
Kwame! You look amazing! Have you discovered a new secret to staying healthy these days?
Actually, I have. It's called SOS Advance. It is a health supplement manufactured in the UK with 11 essential oils like frankincense, black seed, oregano, and neem, all powered by nanotechnology.
Wow! That's impressive! What does it do?
SOS Advance supports your immune system against invading pathogens, including viruses, bacteria, and toxins. It also provides antioxidant effects to help combat free radicals and reduce oxidative stress on your body.
Wow, I really need this. Like, I've been feeling off lately, but I can't pinpoint exactly what the problem is.
Oh, easy. I think you should get it. You can find it at every pharmacy nearby.
There's a pharmacy here! Let's go! Thank you. I beg, his wound is pain.
Pregnant and lactating mothers should contact their physicians. This advert is FDA approved.
Where politics meets power, where the tough questions are asked, welcome to Face to Face. Every Tuesday at 9 p.m., join Umaru Sanda Amadou as he takes you face to face with the key players shaping the future of our nation.
I lost over $10 million at the trade fair.
You had a fight with the management of trade fair?
I don't have a fight with them. I just deplore the way they went about what they did.
Let's talk about the chief prosecutor of the state at the time that you were being prosecuted, Godfrey Adame, the Attorney General.
Yes. I think he was directed to jail us.
By who?
By the system.
Boko has been a failure for your government, though.
Can't be a failure.
You have not solved it.
No, you are not praising them, the previous government for solving Yendi, which was even a more difficult case.
It's quite obvious that from these votes, the people felt that let's just let you go.
So they were disappointed
in us.
You are essentially the worst government in the Fourth Republic.
I don't know how you are doing that. If you based on the indicators.
Yes, based on the number of people who refuse to come and vote for you.
If that is your analysis, then why not?
No filter, no boundaries, just the truth behind the headlines. Deep, bold, and unflinching. Face to Face with Umaru Sanda Amadou airs on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV, where politics gets real.
This week on the Upside Down Show, the untouchable DJ Mensa joins Fema Edinyame and Nana Tufo.
Did you have to compete for a session? What was it like back then?
It's not like today. It was, first of all, even to get the equipment is a problem. I had to learn on the job because right after school, nobody was going to give me the equipment.
Yeah.
I had to buy my first equipment with a story. There was a DJ that came from the UK. At that time, it was aphrodisiac. He was, don't touch this until I come. But I wanted to use it. He came and I was playing on set. Full house. He ejected
Are you serious?
the CDs out and threw them away.
Also featuring is Ash Benny, an energetic, vibrant musician.
With the rhythm of the music, everybody, challenge make we party with the rhythm of the music. We go party.
Do you love magic? Join us as Manuel the Magician does his stuff. Make a date with us this Sunday at 7 p.m. prompt only on Channel 1 TV.
When the stars come out, Ghana Weekend turns up the lights. From the hottest red carpet moments to the wildest after parties. And for all your celebrations, anniversaries, and unforgettable moments, if it's happening, we're there. First, fast, and fabulously. Your front row pass to Ghana's A-list lifestyle is just a click or a channel away. GhanaWeekend.com and Ghana Weekend TV, where fame meets the fans. Promote your next big event with us, because when you party with the stars, the whole nation of black stars should know. Visit GhanaWeekend.com, watch and subscribe to Ghana Weekend TV on YouTube. Stay connected with us across all platforms. Follow us on Instagram with the handle at GhanaWeekend.com, on X at Ghana Weekend, on TikTok, Ghana Weekend, and on Facebook at Ghana Weekend. Join the Ghana Weekend family today. Ghana Weekend, all access, all glam, all yours.
In a world filled with challenges, we all need guidance, hope, and a lifeline to anchor us.
This is Lifeline, and I'm your host, Fred Crunchy Mensa.
From social issues, relationship challenges, and family matters, Lifeline is here to inspire, uplift, and guide you on your journey.
Where we give you support, where we hold your hand through the valley and through the thick and thins of life.
Join Bishop Fred Crunchy Mensa.
I welcome you especially to Lifeline.
Every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. right here on Channel 1 TV. Let's walk this path together, strengthen our faith, our families, and our lives. Lifeline, because every soul deserves a guiding light. Tune in to Lifeline on Channel 1 TV and let's grow together. Curious about what's happening beyond your borders? Beyond Borders takes you there. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m., join Caleb Kuda as he explores the stories that shape our world, connecting you with Ghanaians in other cultures and seeing the world through their eyes.
So we've learned one thing: you leave your shoes outside.
Wow. Tuesdays.
Yeah.
You know, I won't go to Ghana dressed in a Lacoste.
As director of operations.
From international politics to the human stories that define nations, Beyond Borders brings you a fresh perspective of Ghanaians around the world, one conversation at a time. Beyond Borders with Caleb Kuda airs Wednesdays at 7 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
Welcome. It's Play to Aid.
Get ready for the game show where every play has a purpose. Welcome to Play to Aid, the only game show where your knowledge and skill don't just win you prizes, they help change lives.
What sport is considered the most popular in the world?
Football.
Every point you earn goes toward real-world support, from school supplies to health kits, clean water to emergency relief. Play smart, play big, play to aid. Catch all the action, the drama, and the heat.
Most commonly spoken language in Brazil.
Portuguese.
Play to 8 every Sunday at 3:30 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
Edna, let's begin.
The Play to 8 game show is proudly sponsored by Tank Palace, Giraffe Island, and VVIP.
Welcome back to Sunday Breakfast right here on Channel 1 TV with me, Enu Safo. As you can see, I've changed because we're about to do some yoga. Joining me to do that is Leah Nduati. She's the founder and CEO of Yoga Experiences Africa. Exactly. It's nice to have you back on set, Leah.
Thank you for having me back,
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
So what's restorative yoga?
So last time I mentioned that there's different types of yoga.
Mm-hmm.
There's yoga that can, ginger you up energetically, but there's also yoga that can help you to calm down your nervous system, to calm down your mind, but also putting positive pressure on your joints and your ligaments. So the restorative yoga will stay in simple poses, but you stay for a bit longer, just so that you put good pressure on the joints. And then by the time you're done, it helps you to relax. So we are not trying to put too much effort. We are not trying to force, for example, the other one where we were doing the planks. No.
Yeah.
Here we're just relaxing into the pose and letting our body and our muscles also relax into the pose.
Okay, and what does restorative yoga do for you?
So
how does it help your body?
It helps you to unlock. So there's a lot of tension. Sometimes there's a lot of tension in the body. If you sit a lot at your desk, you also have a lot of tension in your lower back. So it helps you to unlock all that tension. It helps you to open up your muscles as well. If you go to the gym a lot, if you do restorative yoga, when you go to the gym, you tighten your muscles. When you do restorative, you loosen the muscles. So it gives you a good balance. Yeah.
All right.
Yes,
Jude should have joined because he's been complaining about backache and I have a slight backache and blah, blah, blah. By the way, Jude has chickened out of doing yoga, so let me just let you know that I'm doing this on my own with Leah. So how do we start?
How do we start? We'll start at the top of the mat. So you just come to the front of the mat. We'll do some standing stretches, and then most of restorative yoga is on the floor, on the mat. Yeah. So we'll inhale and send our hands up. So every pose you do, you also try to breathe in deeply. Then as you exhale, fold all the way. Try to bring your head to your knees. Now when you're here, bring your chin to your chest. Inhale, come up very slowly. Send your hands up again, palms at the chest, and then bring the palms at the chest. Yes, good. All right. Now bring your hands to the sides. We'll do a stretch that unlocks your sciatic nerve.
Okay.
All right, so make sure your right leg is heavy.
Okay.
Okay, and then start to lift your left leg up as you breathe. Okay, left, yes. Good. And then slowly bring it over your right foot. Good. All right, then again we inhale, send your hands up, reach up. Feel yourself becoming tall, and then exhale, fold. So when you're folding, you can have your hands on the mat. Some people might not reach here, so we have what we call a yoga block. So you can have your hands on the block, depending on where you are. But then you bring your head closer to your knees. Okay, and for those who are more flexible, they can hold even the back of their legs, and you'll feel that stretch in the back of your right.
Feel it.
Yes. So you are stretching the whole hamstring and the whole back of your left leg. Good. Now bring your chin to your chest, and as you inhale, come up slowly like a zombie. We'll send our hands up with us, and then slowly we'll bring our hands down by the sides. Good. Now release the left leg, and we do the other side, okay? So you can shake a bit, and then left foot gets heavy. Right foot goes up, lift it up, and then slowly bring it over. Good. And then we inhale, send your hands up, reach up, lengthen, and exhale, fold all the way. Yes, my microphone. Good. So remember, you're bringing your chest closer to your thighs, and you can also hold on to your block if your hands don't touch the mat. Now, one thing you must do is remember to keep breathing. Bring your chin to your chest.
So are you taking deep breaths?
Inhale, come up, yes.
Okay.
Very deep breaths. Inside and out. Send your hands up. And then slowly bring your hands to your chest. Good. That's a good question you asked about the breath. Let's release the right leg, and then we'll do some breathing. So you can put your hands down by the sides. In yoga, when we breathe, we inhale and fill the stomach with air. Okay. So you imagine your stomach is a balloon. And then when you exhale, you push all the air out. Good, okay. So let's inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more, inhale. And exhale. Good. Now let's face the left side. Come to the top of the mat. We're going to do a flow that will put us onto the mat.
Okay.
So bring your feet out wide. Toes out, heels in. So bring your heels
out,
in.
heels in. All right.
Yes, and we are trying to get into a squat.
Okay. The deep
All
squat?
Yes.
Okay.
So inhale, send your hands up, palms touch. And then as we exhale, we slowly come down as we are squatting. Good. And come into the squat. Well done. So you also have a block here. You can sit on the block.
I can sit on
actually.
it?
Yes.
Okay.
You want your feet to be flat. So this is also an option, especially for restorative. And you're pushing your thighs out, and your thighs are pushing your elbows in. Your chest is up. Good. And so here we are opening up the hips, and we are relaxing the lower back.
Will this be good for someone who's pregnant and about to give birth? Because, you know, they keep saying if you're opening up your hips, it helps with childbirth.
It depends on their flexibility. Because some
Okay.
people hips are open, some people hips are not. But yes, if they have the block, they can sit on the block, and it's helpful to open up that pelvic bone.
Okay.
Good, yeah. So from here, just release the block and then come to seated. Good. Now we are going to bring the soles of our feet to touch. And I want you to bring your block just to the bottom of your spine. Yeah, so we're going to put it this way. I want it to be here.
Okay.
So lean back. Lean back. You're going to lie on the block. Hold on. Are you comfortable there? Let me push it up. Okay, lean back.
All right.
Are you feeling comfortable? I want you to drop your head.
Okay.
So let me push it forward a bit. Yeah, okay, lie. Drop your head. Good. Open your knees and place your hands on your tummy.
Okay.
Good. So here you feel that we're unlocking this lumbar spine and you are relaxing also your pelvic bone.
Yeah.
So don't hold anything, just relax. And then we go back into our breathing. Inhale deeply, fill your stomach with air, and exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale. You can also put your hands on your chest. Exhale. So you can stay here as long as you want. And
feels so good.
Yes, for anybody who doesn't have a block, you can use a pillow.
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't need to have a yoga block. You can also use a pillow and just relax. So everything starts to loosen up.
Yeah.
You're not trying to force your knees to go down, and you're not trying to keep them up. Just let gravity do the work, and you just feel that flow of energy. Good. Now slowly start to come up. Use your elbows and come up all the way. Keep the feet together. The soles of the feet.
Okay.
Good. Now grab your feet, your toes. Push the elbows into your tummy. Good. Yes. Inhale. And then as you exhale, fold forward. Fold forward with your spine straight. So you're not folding the head.
Okay.
Your spine is straight, just fold forward.
Okay.
Now when you come forward, you can also use your block. Bring your block forward. Okay. And then you rest your forehead on the block. Yes. As you push your elbows in. Yes.
The body is not...
It's not. Push your elbows in. Yes.
Okay.
And then lean forward. Good. Okay. Just there is okay.
All right.
Yeah. And then the more you do it, the more you
become flexible enough
See
to
if
touch
you can
here.
push your heels back in A bit more. Yes, good. All right. Now lean forward. Good. It's okay. It's okay. Wherever you are is okay.
All right.
Yes. So you stay
Flexible.
there and breathe. Remember to breathe. Good. So you're opening your inner thighs here.
Yeah, I feel the stretch in my thighs.
And the work is to try to just bring your chest closer to your feet, but don't force it.
Okay.
And then you rest. So remember, whoever is at home, they can use a pillow. They can stack up pillows and just rest their head there. And you breathe. So at first, it feels a bit of discomfort.
Yeah.
But you breathe into that discomfort, and your body will get used to it. Good. All right. So you can pull the block away. While you're here, see if you can drop your head down now, rotate your head, and try and touch your toes. Just a little bit, so you stretch the upper neck. Good.
Yeah, I feel the stretch on my neck, and then I think a bit of my back as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we always try to stretch the spine. Okay, you can come up now, slowly. Yeah, because the spine is what holds us.
Yeah.
All right, so straighten your legs, both legs. And this one will just be a forward fold, yeah?
Okay.
So we'll inhale, send our hands up, lean up, then slowly fold forward and grab any part of your body. It can be your feet, your ankles. And here, I want you to push your elbows down. Okay. To try and send your elbows down towards the mat.
Ooh,
so
it's
you're
stretching every part of my body.
Yes, so you'll feel your spine stretching forward.
Yeah.
And so the work is to try to bring the elbows in.
Okay.
And then try to bring your head closer to your knees and your chest to your thighs.
So
Now,
the more you practice, I'm sure the more you can bring your body down and it'll stretch out.
Yes. The first day, you might even be here, up here, which is fine. Some of us will be here, and some of us will be here, and some of us will be here. It's okay. And the more you do it, the more the body remembers, the more the muscles loosen up, and you can go down all the way.
Okay.
Good. All right, slowly come up all the way. Good job. Now let's open our feet wide. Good. And we'll do that stretch again.
Okay.
Yes. So this time I just want you to put your hands on your thighs. Good. Inhale here. And then as we exhale, point your toes and slide your hands down your legs and come all the way. Yes, stay there. Now, now this is where we use a block, so you can rest your head on the block. So you can rest your head there, yes. And we try to stay in these poses for long because we're trying to give the body...
I can feel the stretch in my inner thigh.
Yes, and you keep pointing your toes. So we try to stay long so it gives the body time for those muscles to loosen up, for those ligaments to loosen up.
So how long do we stay in this pose?
So when we are starting, you can stay for half a minute or 1 minute.
Okay.
And the longer people get used to it, most people will stay in the pose maybe for 3 to 5 minutes. One pose, yeah. Good. Now you can slowly start to come up all the way out of the pose. Good. Now bring the left foot in, keep the right foot out.
Okay.
Okay. Now I want you to bring your elbow on the inside of your right thigh. Good. Again, if the elbow is not going there, you can use the block and place it on the block. Yeah. Then we'll inhale and send our left hand up. Good. And drop that left hand towards that right foot. Good. And gaze at the ceiling. Good. And you're trying now to go all the way and grab your right foot. Yes, you don't have to. So I want your head to be under your hand.
Okay,
yes,
like that?
Like that, yes.
Right. Okay, I can feel the stretch.
Yes, good. And you relax there. We inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Slowly come up all the way. And this time maybe we'll face the cameras so that our audience will see it on the other side. So we'll take the left leg out and keep the right foot in.
And then we'll bring our left elbow on the inside. Good, yes. So rest the elbow on the block. Good. And then inhale, right hand up. And as we exhale, we drop that right hand towards the left foot. Good. And as you get used to it more, eventually you'll get to grab it. And this is how the full stretch will look like. And you stretch the whole part of your right side. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. One more, inhale, and exhale. Good, slowly we come up, all the way, well done. All right, let's come onto our knees. Yeah, you're feeling it?
Yeah, I'm
usually
feeling it.
After this, you might feel sleepy, so hopefully you don't have a lot of work to do.
Hopefully not. Okay.
So we'll face that side again. We may take our knees as wide as the mat.
Okay.
And then we'll touch our toes together, big toes touch. Good. And sit all the way back onto your heels. This is a very popular pose. It's called child's pose. Yes, so walk your hands forward and bring your chest towards the mat and just rest your head down on the mat. You rest your forehead on the mat.
Okay.
Good. And here you are trying to bring your chest to touch the mat and your hips are touching your heels. So
Okay.
see if you can sit on your heels a bit more.
Okay.
Good. Yeah. And we're trying to open up all this part of our upper shoulder.
Okay.
So you can push it down more. Yes. And relax. And your lower back will also be releasing and your hips are also opening. Good. So inhale, exhale.
Sometimes I forget to breathe.
Don't forget to breathe. That's the whole point. You breathe. The breathing is one of the most important parts of yoga. So you breathe into those places where you feel the stretch happening.
Yeah.
And one thing to do is imagine the oxygen moving all the way to your toes.
Okay.
And then imagine it leaving your body. So before we leave here, bring your palms to touch and place those hands at the top of your neck. Good. And walk your elbows forward a bit more and feel that stretch.
Yeah.
All the way from even your inside of your hands. Yeah. So we'll breathe. We'll stay there. Keep breathing deeply. And slowly bring your hands back down. This is also a very good pose to do before bed.
Yeah.
And then bring your hands up. We'll come back up on our knees. Good. Bring your knees together. Now we'll do another pose called the puppy pose.
Okay.
So in the puppy pose, you want to keep your hips above your knees. This is also really good for unlocking your upper back, and especially for people who sit a lot at the desk. So keeping our hips above our knees, we're just going to walk our hands forward, hands forward, hands forward, until we bring our chin down to the mat. So it can be your chin or your forehead. Yes. So you can feel there your upper body almost as if it wants to unlock.
Yeah.
Yeah, keeping your hips open. And keep breathing. Don't forget to breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Well done. Slowly lift your head up and just slide forward and come flat on the mat.
Okay.
So every time we do this, we say discomfort is good, but pain is not good.
Yeah.
So if you feel pain, you are not doing it right.
Okay.
You start again.
Okay.
Yeah. You must not feel any pain, but you feel discomfort because sometimes the body is not used to.
Yes, all these muscle stretching.
Yes,
in different
yes.
ways. Okay.
Okay, so now we're just going to stay here, pushing our elbows back, pushing our shoulders back. Push into the elbows. Your hands are flat on the mat, and I want you to feel most of the pressure on the pelvic bone. So your pelvic bone is pushing you up. Good. And this is a slight back bend. We do a lot of back bends in yoga to strengthen the spine and to allow fluid to run through the spine. Good. So keep pushing up and away from the mat. This might look like nothing, you know, but there's actually work going on even on your arms. Yeah.
You can actually feel the pressure on your elbows.
Yes, on your elbows, yes. And your back is also working. And for those people who have a back issue, you want to do it, but not too much pressure. Okay. So for everything that we're doing that is a back bend, if you have a back issue, you just do it slightly. Okay. So from here, fold your right foot. Fold your right foot back, like this.
Like this?
Yes. Okay. And then use your right hand and grab that right foot and push it into the hip. Good. Now don't collapse into the left shoulder, still push out. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now before we come out, see if you can bring that heel closer to your hip. Yeah. So eventually you want to bring it all the way until it can touch. And this is a good quad stretch.
I can feel it.
Yes. And most times don't stretch the quad. So it's a good quad stretch. All right, we can release that side and then we do the other side. So the left foot comes in, we grab it. And we also have straps. So if you go to a studio, you can have a strap that will help you to, maybe your foot is too far away, it helps you to pull it in. So there's all this, what we call props that are supposed to help. Yes. And it doesn't mean that somebody is bad at yoga, it's just supposed to help your body to get used to the movement. Yeah. So keep breathing. And a good thing also, like as you breathe out, you try and see if the stretch can go deeper. Yeah. You just like, it's like you're convincing the body to try, you know? Yeah.
At least try.
Yeah, try, yes. That's all we do in yoga is try. Good. Well done. And then you can slowly let go and come flat on the mat. Good. Now I want you to place your left ear on the mat. Bring your hands out to the sides. Good. Now lift that right leg up, right leg, and send it over to the left side. Good, yes. And we stay there. Keep breathing. Good. So this is actually opening mostly for the shoulders, and it's also a spinal twist.
All right.
Yes.
It actually feels good.
Yeah. Yeah. In these poses, you are welcome to close your eyes.
They are closed.
Enjoy, yes. Now, before we leave here, see if you can fold that right foot backwards and grab it with your left hand. Can you touch it?
With my other hand?
Yes.
Yeah.
You see, surprise. Sometimes you don't know what your body can do. Yeah. Good. So let's release this side, and then we do the same thing on the other side. So we come back slowly, and this time we'll place the right ear on the mat. Lift that left leg up and bring it over to the right side. Good. And we'll take a few breaths there. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And before we leave, see if you can fold that left foot and grab it with your right hand. Good. How are you feeling?
Feel good. I can feel the stretch, I think, in my waist and my legs, yeah.
Yes. Good. So release slowly. Good. And we'll come back up onto our knees, hands and knees. Good. Do we have much time left?
How much time do we have?
So we know what to do?
Yeah, 4 minutes.
4 minutes, okay. Yeah. So this also a good pose. It's called a pigeon pose,
Okay.
which I want us to do. Yep. So still on tabletop. Okay, I want you to stretch out your right foot back. Good. And then slowly bring that right knee forward and place it between your hands. Yes. And then you sit your hips down. Good. So we'll try to see if you can bring the foot a bit forward.
Okay.
And if we can have, yes, good. That's good, yes. So in this pose, we want to keep the hips aligned. So because this is the first time, we can have this part on the block. Yeah, let's see. To keep, yes, both hips together, yes. So this is a very strong hip opener. And I want us to inhale, push your chest out and back. And then as you exhale, you lean forward, place your hands on the mat in front of you, and rest your head on your hands. Good. Your head is a bit far. Let me give you the block. So you can rest your head on the block. Okay. Good. Yeah. And you feel this on your whole right hip.
Yeah.
Yes. All the way. It's also a very good sciatica stretch. So for those people who have sciatic issues, it opens up the whole hip and allows you to relax your back as well. So most people don't usually like to get out of this pose.
It's actually very nice.
Very good, yes. Good. All right. So you can also do this at home. Let's come out slowly. You can also do this at home, yes. And then we'll slowly bring that right knee back, and we do this on the other side.
All right.
Yeah. So left leg out and straight first.
With premium.
And then slowly bring that left knee between the hands. And we rest our hips on the mat, and we try to keep the hips aligned. Yes.
Okay.
Good. After a while, your body will get used to it. Yes. So inhale, push your chest out, and then exhale, lean forward, lean the body forward, and rest on your hands or rest on the block. Good. Yes. So even if the teacher is not talking, just remember to breathe. Breathe into that stretch where you're feeling it, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes the urge is to come out. The stretch might be too deep, and you feel like coming out of the stretch. But just breathe into it. Good. All right. Slowly bring your head up. Come onto your hands. And this time, just take that right foot and bring it forward. Good. We can face the front as we finish. Yes. So actually, I want us to do one more. We can lie back. Lie back flat.
One more.
Yes. On the mat. Bring your feet to the ground. Bring your left foot to sit on your right knee, as if you're crossing. Yes. Grab your right thigh. The other one. The right yes,
thigh.
Yes. And push it into your chest. Yes. So bring it into closer to your chest. Yes. Straighten that right leg. Make the right leg straight. Bring it up. Yes. Grab your right calf or your right ankle. Yes. And push that right knee in. Yes. And then slowly, you can bring that foot down, and we do it on the other side. Yeah. So now the right knee on the left. Then we grab the left thigh and push it into the chest. Good. And all this, we keep the back flat on the mat. Yeah. Straighten the left leg. Grab the calf and push in. Yes. Well done. And slowly Bring that foot down. Bring both feet down. Okay. Now bring that left foot again on the right knee, like we started. Put your hands out to the sides and drop your right knee to the right side. Right knee to the right side.
Yeah, they're telling me that it's time.
Good, yes.
Like that?
Yes, like that. Good. Look the other side. Okay. And come up. And we do the other side, and then we'll close.
Okay.
Yes. So this is a good spinal twist.
Right.
Look at your right side.
We used to do this as kids.
Yes.
So we didn't even know.
Everybody has done yoga before.
Yes.
And if you look at children, you'll see them doing yoga.
Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't even know the benefits.
Yeah. Let's come up. And then we can slowly come all the way to seated. Okay. Good. And can bring our palms at the chest. And usually it's nice to sit like this for a bit, take a few breaths, and also absorb how the body is feeling. Yeah. But we'll take one deep breath together.
Okay.
Inhale. And exhale. When we finish yoga, we have a salutation that says Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste, yes.
Thank
you. Yeah.
Thank you, Leah. I enjoyed it.
You're welcome.
I feel all stretched out. When we return, though, we have sports for you. But thank you so much, Leah. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for
all right,
trusting
guys.
me. Yes.
It'll be up on YouTube, so you can, go ahead and try it at home. I will definitely have Leah back, and this time probably Jude will not be so scared to join us. We'll be right back with sports. Don't go away.
Where politics meets power, where the tough questions are asked, welcome to Face to Face. Every Tuesday at 9 p.m., join Umaru Sanda Amadou as he takes you face to face with the key players shaping the future of our nation.
I lost over $10 million at the trade fair.
You had a fight with the management of trade fair?
I don't have a fight with them. I just deplore the way they went about what they did.
Let's talk about the chief prosecutor of the state at the time that you were being prosecuted, Godfrey Yeboah-Dame, the Attorney General.
Yes. I think he was directed to jail us.
By who?
By the system.
Boku has been a failure for your government, though.
Can't be a failure.
You have not solved it.
No, you are not praising them, the previous government for solving Yendi, which was even a more difficult case.
It's quite obvious that from these votes, the people felt that let's just let you go.
So they were disappointed in
us.
You are essentially the worst government in the Fourth Republic.
I don't know how you are doing that. If you based on the indicators.
Yes, based on the number of people who refuse to come and vote for you.
If that is your analysis, then why not?
No filter, no boundaries, just the truth behind the headlines. Deep, bold, and unflinching. Face to Face with Umaru Sanda Amadou airs on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV, where politics gets real.
This week on the Upside Down Show, the untouchable DJ Mensa joins Fema Edinyame and Nana Tufo.
Did you have to compete for a session? What was it like back then?
It's not like today. It was, first of all, even to get the equipment is a problem. I had to learn on the job because right after school, nobody was going to give me the equipment. I had to buy my first equipment with a story. There was a DJ that came from the UK. At that time, it was aphrodisiac. He was, don't touch this until I come. But I wanted to use it. He came and I was playing on set. Full house. He ejected
Are you serious?
the CDs out and threw them away.
Also featuring is Ash Benny, an energetic, vibrant musician.
I go with the rhythm of the music. Everybody, Charlie, make we party. Party with the rhythm of the music. We go party.
Do you love magic? Join us as Manuel the Magician does his stuff. this Sunday at 7 p.m. prompt only on Channel 1 TV.
Welcome back. This is Sunday Breakfast right here on Channel 1 TV with myself, Jude Duncan, after a really exhilarating, exercise, Eno and our yoga instructor taking us through some really useful ways you could, keep the body active. And if you missed any of the instructions, and the session will be up on our YouTube channel on Channel 1 TV. Go there, subscribe, like the video, share, and enjoy. That was an interesting one. But for now, it's time for sports, and my colleague Gabi Ofe, joins me in the studio. He's also the weatherman, and he also does other things. But the Nimli potions, you've not started selling some yet.
Nimli do me swear. Take on. You do me swear. Wow.
Coach Nimli has to be in order.
That Friday, at that part of the list.
For some reason, that thing will come.
Actually, but he come.
Interesting. It's been a very, I'm not sure how to describe the sporting facility.
Mixed feelings.
Yeah, and even if you're Ghanaian, also, with the story about Party coming up, a lot of mixed reactions, mixed feelings. Of course, he's just been charged. He hasn't been proven guilty on any of the allegations leveled against him. But of course, yesterday we saw the funeral ceremony for the late Liverpool star Diogo Jota. What else can you tell us about this really unfortunate incident?
I think that, so yesterday I was just following the live stream of the funeral. It was held in Gondoma, the outside of Porto. I asked myself one question, that it could have been Liverpool starting their pre-season. Liverpool were scheduled to start pre-season on on Friday.
Yeah.
And so, look, it could have been that. Jota joining up with the team, Liverpool starting a new season on the back of their highly successful season. Jota himself had a very good season with Portugal. And I saw this tweet or this story from Ronaldo. I mean, his last words to Jota when he was being thrown on in the 120th minute against Spain.
In the Nations League, right?
Yes, in the Nations League, the final. That was Ronaldo's last words to Jota. The words were that he should just go and then go on and grab the winning goal. I tagged him as a super sub for Liverpool because a large chunk of his goals he scored for Liverpool came off the bench. Yeah. But it's not been what I thought would be another season with him after that unfortunate incident. But look, I think it will take time for the wife, that's Rute Cardoso, and then the kids to actually process all this.
Kids are quite young, right?
Very young to process all this. It will take a lot of time. I don't know, and I don't know how she would handle all this. But one good news I saw on the part of Liverpool was that, Jota has 2 years
left on his contract.
Liverpool say they'll continue to pay their wages, and that will go to Cardoso until his contract runs out with Liverpool. I think that's a good one. They've gone on to retire the number 20 jersey. He came in he had a very good link with the number 20 because he came in from Wolves in 2020, wore the number 20 jersey, was part of the squad that guided Liverpool 20th league title. So to retire the jersey, I think it's a very good gesture to do for the Portuguese. A lot of top players were in the Portuguese national team. A large chunk were in there together with former Wolves manager Nuno Espirito Santo, who is now with Nottingham Forest. So it was good to see all these people go say their final tribute to Jota. But look, not the best of scenes. Not the best of scenes for football at large. Like I said, I thought that we would go on and see him do some good things, and this has happened.
The last time I had a high-profile footballer pass away like that probably have to be Achu.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, Christian Achu. Wow. And if you, like I said, with Achu's wife, I'm sure she's not even
fully recovered.
And this is not something
Really
Cardoso actually
devastating.
hoped, especially in the back of day getting married on June 22.
Yeah.
Just going to have some bit of a fun with his brother.
And
then this happens. Yeah.
You know, what really broke me in all of this, of course, when I first heard the news, I was really devastated. It's not even like I'm remotely close to him in any way, right? But it was really tragic. And, you know, you can't, I've been thinking about the family, especially the mom and the wife, to lose two of your sons in a day, just like that. And we understand that they are the only children.
The only two guys
Only
to have.
two.
So
Wow.
Jota himself and then Andre Silva. Silva is also a footballer. He played for Penafiel in the second division in Portugal. So all were footballers. And I saw another video of him yesterday. Somebody posted it. They were asking Jota which footballer he likes watching or is his favorite or he likes watching a lot. And he mentioned his brother's name, and that's Andre Silva. So you could see that he had that connection.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of stories about even the car they used, the Lamborghini Aventador, was rented. I don't know how true all
of
these,
those.
Charlie.
Yeah, you have to wait for official sources on some of these things. Another thing that really broke me was a video put up by Liverpool Football Club on their social media where Jota was talking about the role of women in his life.
Yeah.
So he spoke about his mom and he spoke about his wife.
Yeah.
He said his mom was his role model.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, spoke about his footballing role model who were women. He mentioned Mata.
Yeah.
He mentioned some Portuguese athletes. And he talked about his wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he said that he knows that his wife will be a very good mother to the children and will continue. You know, he said something around and it hit me. You know, of course, nobody expected this.
Yeah.
Wow, may his soul rest in peace. Amazing. Moving on from this really tragic story, here in Ghana, we have a big clash. Can you still call it a super clash? I mean, I feel like we should throw the two teams away. You know, we should really throw the two teams away.
And put who there?
Why are we still playing Kotoko and Haas? Like, what has Kotoko and Haas done for our football in recent times that we have to like still give them this prominence?
Look, take it or leave it. I think they are
still the two biggest.
Ghana's two biggest clubs in Ghana.
Your mates are
playing
Club World Cup challenge.
Yes, a storied rivalry between the two. I understand that they fell in the last couple of years. Like you said, it could have been one of Hearts or Kotoko at the FIFA Club World Cup.
They both of them should, you know,
but when it comes
at that level.
When it comes to the CAF Confederations Cup and even the CAF Champions League, you and I know that the only team now to actually hit its chest and say that we've gone on a very good run is Dreams FC in the CAF Confederations Cup after they lost to Zamalek in the semis. Hearts and Kotoko having had a very good run. On the part of us, their last campaign was when they lost to Wydad Casablanca by 6-1. Kotoko themselves have tried. They've not been able to break into the money zone. But look, I think it's still a big game. And I would want to commend Gauka for the promotion of these two clubs coming up. I think the media tour, if you ask me to rate them out, I'd probably give them a 6.5 over 10. It's been decent. We've not seen this in the past. And I'm bringing this up because we've had conversations about how promotions of this, promoting these two games need to be better. And I think Gauka have done that because they are the front runners, they are the one front in this. This game is played in honor of the sitting president. So it means that you see His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama there.
With other political appointees.
Yes, other political appointees. And also some musicians who will come there too.
Yes, Shatta will be passing through.
Yes, Camido as well.
Two quick questions, right? Then we end it on this one. They say, some critics have said that, this Kotoko House thing is not really nationalistic enough. If you are playing a cup to another president, it should be more inclusive, right? So maybe you could have like a Southern versus a Northern or Eastern versus a Western kind of approach, or even like a 4-team tournament with representatives from all regions competing, right? Rather than this Kotoko and House thing that's become like a cliche with not really any. And of course, later, after answering that, touch on who you think has the tactical edge to
I agree with people who have called for that. I think I belong to that school of thought that let's look beyond Hearts and Kotoko. I was even given an example that we have one club from the Volta who will be partaking in the upcoming 2025-2026 GPL season. I went there. I'm working on a documentary about them that will be out in the break. I thought that Hoho United, they've got huge love for the club, the people of Hohoi. You can do something with Heart of Lions. that are like now an upcoming rivalry between the two clubs.
Yeah.
You can do a northern, southern sector, parade the best players who play in the southern zone up against the northern zone. That's a bit of creativity to the President's Cup. But look, I think they've been very comfortable with just, okay, so President's Cup is here. Let's call Hearts and let's call Kotoko. They meet at one particular venue, they play. I think there should be some bit of creativity to it. We should change the Hearts and Kotoko thing. It can be some of these clubs. It can be, I don't know, maybe an Olympics, Heart of Folk, something of that sort. Regional derbies. People, the derbies that you can actually have fans connecting with some of these clubs, and I think it could be better.
Amazing.
On the part of
the tactical analysis of it, very, very briefly.
Yes,
who wins, basically?
Who wins? I can't stick my neck out for any of these two teams. Omasa, they've been very shambolic in the just end this season. But, you know, one interesting storyline about these two clubs is that Hearts of Folk have brought in a former Kotoko Gaffer who won the title 2 times with them in the space of 2012 to 2014 in Masoud Didi Dramani. I think that on the part of Hearts, a lot of these supporters will throng to the stadium to see what Didi Dramani has got up his sleeves heading into the upcoming season. Because I look at him as somebody who's moved away from this day-to-day coaching. He's metamorphosing into now a teacher, sort of. Because if you look at Didi, he's not been active in club football that much.
If you drop some
quotes and some things. Black Galaxies, he was all over the place. But look, I'll give him the benefit of that. I think that it should be a good game.
Analyze the games in subsequent editions, right? Yeah. Thank you so much for your time, Gabi.
Welcome, Jake.
And that's what time will allow us for yet another exciting, insightful, educative, informative edition of your favorite Sunday morning TV show. We call this Sunday Breakfast. I want to use this opportunity to also wish our colleague here in Channel 1 TV, Miranda, a happy belated birthday. You know, and Magdalene, Charlie, let me take my time and do it. You know, Royal Maggie, you know, Magdalene Williams, who is with us, our events and programs department. Also a happy birthday to you. She's been on this show a couple of times talking about all the events you love. God bless you. We wish you a great day. And of course, to the new Africa Mind team, you know, Samuel, Abaka, and Ofebia for that really amazing event you put together over the weekend, bringing in Captain Amabin to speak to young people on the need to have a revolutionary mindset in terms of bringing the progress we want to see on our continent. Great stuff. Hopefully you come in studio, we have a broader conversation on some of the things we discussed. But thank you so much for your time this morning. If you missed any part of the conversation, will be up on our YouTube channel. Take good care of yourself, and bye-bye.
Welcome